everyone, and welcome to my brand new Spotlight On series where I shine my little spotlight on the stars of theatre and musicals and chat with them about their lives and careers so far in this business we call show. If you haven't seen my face before, then hi, my name is Emily and I am an actor singer based in the UK, and I spend my time either performing in shows or talking about them. If you love things theatre and musicals as much as I do, then click on the subscribe button and join my stagey little online family. While you're there, click the thumbs up if you would like to see more videos like this one on my channel. Also, if you're really into this, then why not comment down below with your favourite theatre show of all time. So welcome to my new series where I will be chatting to the stars and creators of West End and Broadway theatre, the award winners and the fan favourites. Today I am lucky enough to be joined by the incredible Richard H. Blake, Broadway's favourite leading man and star of stage and screen. You might recognise him as Broadway's original Warner Huntington III in a little show you might have heard of called Legally Blonde. If you haven't seen it, it was filmed by MTV and honestly, it's amazing, go check it out. Mr. Blake has had and is still very much having a very successful acting career, and he was kind enough to take time out of his busy filming schedule to chat to me about his career. But just so you're up to date on what a superstar this man is, in case you don't already know, let me fill you in. Richard made his Broadway debut in the musical Teddy and Alice as a child actor in 1987, going on to play the boy Macduff in the Scottish play. Is it okay to say Macbeth in a video? Let's hope so. Starring Christopher Plummer and the one and only Glenda Jackson, again on Broadway. He appeared on the American TV show Star Search in 1990 and won first place, beating some girl named Sutton Foster. I mean, where is she now? And then moseyed on back to Broadway to play Roger in Rent and Gus in Saturday Night Fever. Then joined the national tour playing Tony Manero, and then moseyed on into a little show called Hairspray, taking over the role of Link Larkin, and yes, you guessed it, on Broadway. Seriously, how many times can I say Broadway in one video? Sticking with Broadway, Richard then went on to originate the role of Glenn Guglia in The Wedding Singer, and then we are back to where we started with him starring as Warner Huntington III in the original Broadway production of Legally Blonde alongside Laura Bell Bundy and Christian Ball. But no, we are not done. Mr. Blake then went on to play Fiero in 3 different productions of Wicked and then joined the Broadway cast of Matilda. Seriously, how many times can I say Broadway in one video? And then play Tommy DeVito in The Jersey Boys, and yes, you guessed it, everybody after 3, 1, 2, 3, on Broadway. He then went on to play Lorenzo in the musical adaptation of A Bronx Tale. Where, I hear you ask? On Broadway! Okay, I'm done. Meanwhile, while all this amazing theatre stuff was happening, he somehow found time to star in films and TV shows like Life as an Actress with Taylor Louderman, Blue Bloods and Ascent to Hell, to name but a few. Okay, so I think I have successfully managed to prove that Richard H. Blake is some sort of superstar in the world of stage, TV and film. But did I also mention that he's a really nice guy? That is right, we have finally got to the part of the video that you came here for. Here is what happened when I caught up with the man himself. So obviously you are a very successful actor, but from what I've discovered, you actually started out on Broadway as a child. Is that correct?
That is 100% correct. Yeah, I've been doing this professionally for a really long time. No, I started, got my equity card doing my first professional job in 1984. So that's it's been 36 years that I've had my equity card. So yeah, I started out dancing when I was a little kid because I was clumsy. My parents put me into gymnastics to learn dexterity, and where I took gymnastics, they also taught tap dancing. So I started tap dancing, and that led to dance competitions where I was discovered at a dance competition by an agent, and
wow.
They asked me to go out for a show, and I got it, and the rest, as they say, is history.
Crikey, that's quite a whirlwind experience for you to go from nothing to Broadway.
Yeah, it was very interesting now as an adult, seeing the process, and knowing how difficult it is. When you're a kid, you don't think about that. You don't think about how hard it is. You just, because you don't, I don't want to say you don't care, but you don't have the pressure on yourself to succeed as a career, because it's not a career yet. It's just something you're doing for fun as a kid. You know, you don't have to pay bills. You don't have those responsibilities. And you know, at that point, it's just like, oh, and I think in a lot of ways that frees you up, you know, and allows you to just go out there and just do the best, you know, naturally that you can.
Well, obviously you did really enjoy it because you're still doing it.
Yeah.
So you've played the leading man many, many times. What has been your favorite leading role so far?
Ooh, that's like an impossible question to answer, because there's so many. There's so many great roles I've been fortunate to play, but they are so different too. You know, there's people ask me what my favorite show is all the time that I've done. I'm like, for what? I mean, it depends on what you're asking about. You know, if you're, you know, talking about storytelling, if you're talking about my favorite character to play, if you're talking about my favorite experience overall, they're all kind of different. Obviously, I can say some highlights in my favorite roles that I've played, which is easier to say, is Tommy DeVito in Jersey Boys, Roger in Rent, Link Larkin in Hairspray, Warner Huntington in Legally Blonde, and Radames in Aida. Those would probably be my like 5 favorite roles on Broadway.
So you've also had the opportunity to originate a few roles. What do you think the pros and cons are of being the first actor to play that character?
Well, you're part of the creative process, and I think as artists, that's always the most exciting part for us. It's really great once the show is up on stage and we get an audience and you get that instant gratification of feedback.
Mm-hmm.
But the process is really what we all sort of like, you know, want to sink our teeth into. So when you're the first, you're in the room kind of deciding who this person's going to be. And that's I don't know, that's the fun, that's the real meat and potatoes of it.
So I first became aware of you, obviously I live in the UK and you're in the US.
Mm-hmm.
So my first consciousness of you was as Warner because of the MTV.
Right.
How was it being filmed by MTV? Was it exciting or was it nerve-wracking? Like, what was that experience like?
It was awesome. It was a whole new experience for the show and for us as theater actors. I mean, I've done a lot of TV and film as well, but it's a different experience when you're doing a live show start to finish and you just have cameras filming you versus filming a TV show. I mean, literally I was filming something, you know, in March before the pandemic started, and we were doing the last scene of the final episode before we did 2 episodes earlier. You know what I mean? Like, it's all out of, it's, so when you get to like actually do the combination of the two, it was awesome. We got to tell the story from start to finish. We got the audience, you know, in the house, but we were also getting the TV film experience because we had 8 cameras, cranes, people following us, you know, like a steady cams around. So you were really getting both experiences there. And that was really fun and cool. And we were the first really, you know, to sort of to cross that platform.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's so great for us over here because we get to see it then. We never would have, you know, unless we fly over, obviously, but that's not what everyone can do. So
yeah, and it's, you know, the fact that it reached a generation and people that wouldn't get the opportunity to come see the show on Broadway was also one of the things that made it so special. And to this day, I come out of a stage door of you know, whatever show I'm doing now, and every single night there's someone there who mentions Legally Blonde, who mentions, you know, like, I love you as Warner. And so that's like, it's just sort of, and that was 15 years ago, you know, so
it's gonna follow you.
yeah, I mean, and that's awesome. I mean, that's what we do this for.
You've also played Fiero in Wicked, but from what I understand, you've played it Broadway, touring, and in Asia.
Yes.
Is that correct? So obviously you must really enjoy that character.
It's funny, when I got done saying the roles that I left off, I left off two very, very important roles. One would be Fiero in Wicked, and there's many reasons why that one is so special to me. Not the least of which being that my son was born while I was doing Wicked.
Oh, wow.
And so that show has a very special place in my heart. And two would be A Bronx Tale, which I, did most recently on Broadway because that was my first father role. But in to your question about Wicked, yeah, no, that show, that show transcends musical theater a little bit because it reaches people on such a different level. These young kids and the hopes and the dreams and aspirations, and it tells so much to the younger population about what matters, but also the music, the book, it's all just pretty perfect, so getting to play Fiero is, I did the show for 4+ years, which I think is longer than any other Fiero in history. So I enjoyed it a lot.
So you mentioned that you became a father. Obviously, I know you're a family man. How do you find juggling acting in particular with having a family?
It is hard. It's the schedule that's hard for actors, I think. When they're really young, it's great before they start school because when they're awake, you're home and you're not having to, as a theater actor, you're home and you're not, you get all that time to spend with them. Once they go to school, it gets difficult because you see them in the morning before they go to school. They come home. By the time they come home, you're getting ready to go to work to do your show at night. Your weekends are busy because that's when you have, 2 shows on Saturdays and Sundays. So you don't get to go to the football games and the baseball games. And I have a son, so not that matters, but he's really into sport. So for me, that was the big thing. I was missing out on his football games and baseball games. And I have to say that's the hard part. It also is really cool because my son's first experience at a baseball game was on the field with the players because I was singing the national anthem,
Wow.
at the Mets game, and his first Knicks game, I was doing the halftime show. And so he had a suite and got to shoot baskets with the players. And, so it's kind of a trade-off. You get to be the really cool dad. And then of course you miss some things too. So it's definitely a trade-off.
You mentioned before, Broadway isn't the only thing you do. You're also in films and television. How did you make that switch, or was it something you've always done side by side?
I've always done it side by side. I think when I was young, I did a lot more of a balance between the two. Then as I got older, I sort of became successful in theater, and that just constantly took my time. That's the thing about it too, is that you're working and you're in a show and you're under contract. You don't really have time to film other things. And then as I've gotten older, it started to, by choice too, saying no to some theater things so I can have time with my family. And it has allowed me to sort of equalize the two a little bit. But the transition, it is hard. I think a lot of actors who start in theater, it is hard to get used to the idea of A, not telling a story from start to finish, and B, it's a different style of acting. It's a very still, very shrunken down style of acting. So it takes some getting used to.
Some people watching this will be interested in starting out in the industry themselves. Do you have one piece of golden advice that you would give to anybody starting out?
One piece? I have 3. Can I give 3 pieces of advice?
Yes, you can.
All right. Number 1, make sure it's what you wake up wanting to do every single day. It is a very tough business. You need thick skin. It is going to knock you down, and you have to be willing to get back up. And the only way you're going to do that is if it's the thing that you wake up in the morning going, I have to do this. I have to be an artist. Right. 2, learn as many things as you can. You don't have to be great at all of them, but the more you know, the more marketable you are. I see the guitars behind me. I play guitar. We play instruments. I juggle. I ride a unicycle. I eat fire. I mean, like, not saying I need to use those things, but they're just things. I sing, I dance, I act. Particularly those three, obviously. But again, the more marketable you can be, the more things you can bring into the room, the better.
Yeah.
And lastly, I would say, if you're of age where you are going into university or studying further, make sure you take a business or an economics course. This is show business, and it's important to understand that your livelihood is going to go like this. Mm-hmm. It's going to have ebbs and flows, and you need to learn how to manage your business. You need to learn how to sustain. You literally signed up for a business where you're going to work, and you're going to stop working, because if you don't stop working, you're not going to get your next job.
Yeah.
And sometimes you're going to take things. You were making this much, and you're like, oh, but I really want to do that. But it makes less. All right, I'm going to choose the art. And if you're smart with your business, you can choose the art when you want to do it. So those are the three things I wish all young actors would know growing up.
Absolutely, great advice. My last question is just about how do you handle nerves before a performance, and how do you stop them getting the best of you?
I think I've come to realize that I love the nerves. The nerves happened still 36 years in before every single show, not just like opening night, mm-hmm. every single show. And it's using that energy. And I think when I stop getting the nerves, I'll know I don't care anymore. The upside is, and I think it's true for most actors that I've found, is those nerves are there, and the second the curtain goes up, it's like they go away, because it's just a build up, and then it's the release. The curtain goes up, and it's like, let's go. And that's where all your training, all your preparation, all your rehearsal kicks in like muscle memory, and you just go. So yeah, I think I don't know if that really answered your question, but that's what I think of when I think of the butterflies that happen before every single performance.
That's an absolute pleasure to talk to you. Thank you so much for giving me your time.
It was all mine.
I really hope that you enjoyed me shining my spotlight on Richard H. Blake today. If you did, then please click that like button, and if you want to see more videos like this, then hit subscribe, because I have got so many ready and waiting to go coming soon on my channel. More incredible stars of the stage, more award winners, directors and writers. You will not want to miss it. Take care, everyone. Bye. Hi, thank you so much for getting to this part of the video. I really appreciate you taking the time out of your day to watch. I'd love it if you could click subscribe so we can stay in touch, and a little like would be nice as well. So why don't you leave a comment, just say hi, or let me know any songs you like or anything you'd like to see me cover on this channel, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!